So I am in Los Angeles, California, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist as well as a certified Kundalini yoga instructor for 20 years. I also provide workshops to the community to prevent chronic disease. And I have founded a community mental health clinic that's under my mentor's acupuncture clinic. So I provide community health to community, mental health. So since it is Mental Health Awareness Month, we are looking at mind over matter. We know that mom is so important to us, and we just celebrated Mother's Day, that we're looking at mind over matter and how our mental health is so crucial to our overall health, to all health. What I do is provide opportunities for interns to do service in the community, as well as normalizing mental health, to allow for us to know that just like you go to the dentist, just like you go to the doctor, the emotional wellness is important in an emotional wellness checkup. So we'll be doing a lot of checking in today because of this experience that we're having worldwide. It is creating a lot of feelings for people. So we want to talk about those feelings and provide resources and tools for you to be able to utilize during a time such as this. So thank you for coming. I am also the co-founder of GEEC, and I work with the component of mental health and the health component. So I'm going to pass it on to Ephraim so he can introduce himself. So welcome everyone, and thank you for joining in.
Good morning, everyone. This is Ephraim Jernigan. I'm one of the partners of GEEC. I'm also president of South Union Community Development. We run a Saturday STEM program called the STEM Foundation. Thank you for joining us. I see a few that do not have their mics muted, so please mute your mic so we don't have background noise. Thank you for joining us.
So what I would like to do right now is introduce our speaker, and she will be talking about skills and techniques. Jonee, if you can pass it to me for her to share how the yoga technology helps us to manage our mental health. But before that, I'd like to just have us ground ourselves. And grounding ourselves is just simply taking deep breathing and allowing for our breath to support us. So if we could gently take a nice deep breath in through the nose, as we inhale, and as you exhale, release the breath through the nose. And breathing is a wonderful way to manage our emotions and to allow for our nervous system to adjust. It is scientific. Called long, deep breathing. We inhale through the nose and we exhale through the nose, which also helps to expand our lung capacity and give us more oxygen to our brain and allow for our body to create more white blood cells that help our body fight off anything that may be trying to avoid. And at a time such as this, so if we just breathe, that will help our overall health and help us be maintaining our health during this time that we're having this global experience together. So Jonee, if you can introduce yourself.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Jonee Watt. I am an associate clinical social worker. I currently work for Los Angeles Unified School District as the psychiatric social worker working with high school students. So I provide individual therapy, I provide group therapy, as well as doing a lot of macro level campaigns on the school campus to raise awareness for different mental health related issues that we face in society. How I got into the field, I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, and I have my master's in social work. And I was working at a group home. And I hadn't decided just yet on if I wanted to become an MFT or an MSW. And so I had a few individuals that I was speaking with in regards to that, and I kind of leaned more towards getting my MSW. And so I went to graduate school, and I studied to get my degree in social work. And so from there, I've worked in different fields of mental health. I've done in-home outreach counseling, Again, I'm working in the school. I've worked for the Department of Public Social Services, working specifically with a population that was underserved that had mental health related issues. So today I'm going to be talking about how we can stress a little bit better when we find ourselves in situations where we become overwhelmed. So I'm going to show a feeling thermometer. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen.
Let me
see. I can share.
Someone has a radio or TV on in the background, and you can hear very well.
So I was able to mute. So can you guys hear me better now? I was able to mute the person.
Yes.
Okay, so I have here a feeling thermometer, and I chose this one. I felt like this one was a little bit more self-explanatory than the one that I use with my students on my school campus, because I have a lot more time to really go in depth with the feeling thermometer that I use. So this is on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being that you're doing really good, you're feeling good about yourself. And I'm gonna see if I can zoom in just a little bit on this. Little fuzzy. You're doing great. You're feeling good about yourself. You have an idea of what's going on around you. And as you move out of green, you move into red. Okay. And so 5 being, I'm ready to explode. I want to hit something, someone, or throw something. I need an adult to help me go to a safe place so I can calm down. Okay. 2, I'm doing okay. I'm not pleased, but I'm not upset. I can stay where I am and I can keep working. I can control my anger by myself. 3 is I'm getting really irritated. I need to walk away from a bad situation. I will tell an adult that I need a break. 4, I'm getting too angry. My brain isn't working clearly. I might say or do something I will be sorry for later. And I need to go to my safe place to calm down. So we often know that when we're feeling stressed out, our stress can manifest into anger, right? And so we get overwhelmed, overcome with emotions, and sometimes it manifests in us getting angry. We lash out at people. We sometimes say things that we may regret later that we don't necessarily mean to say to a specific person. And so we're gonna talk about some ways that we can kind of ground ourselves when we find ourselves becoming overwhelmed or really anxious or stressed out, whether it be because we're asked to do work that we may not necessarily wanna do, or we're asked to do too much work in a short amount of time. And so we're gonna learn a anxiety or stress reducing activity called 333. And we're going to look for 3 things that we can see around the room, 3 things that we can hear, and then 3 different body parts that we can move. So I want you guys to sit in a comfortable position. You can be sitting in a chair, you can be sitting on the floor, but make sure that you're in a comfortable position. And I want you to, wherever you are, look around the room and name 3 things that you can see, right? So whether it's a couch, it's the carpet, it's a chair, it's a picture on the wall, a doorknob, you're going to just look for 3 different items that you can name, okay? And then next, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about what are 3 different sounds that you can hear. Okay, so it could be the birds outside, it could be somebody talking, it could be the TV, it could be the wind blowing. So you want to think about what are 3 different sounds that I can hear. Okay, and then lastly, you can open your eyes. I want you to move 3 different body parts. So it can be your fingers, it can be your hand, your leg, your foot. You can move your whole torso. Okay, just move 3 different parts of your body. Okay. And the idea is that this has helped kind of ground you. So this is similar to a grounding exercise. The idea is that it grounds you so that you're no longer focused on what has made you stressed out or has made you feel anxious, but you're focused on the things that you can see around the room, you're focused on the things that you can hear, and you're focused on the different body parts. So now that you can go back and re-engage into the activity that you were initially, okay, let me mute this person one more time. Okay. And then the next activity that we're going to do, it's a deep breathing exercise. It's called Smell the Flower, Blow Out the Candle. Okay. So again, you're going to stay in whatever position that you're in, whether you're seated, you're standing, you just want to make sure that you're comfortable. Okay. And so I want you to imagine you smelling a flower, any flower that you like, whatever your favorite flower is. If you don't like flowers, imagine your favorite smell. Okay, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to take a deep breath in, smelling whatever that smell is. And then you're going to picture that you're blowing out a candle as you let out your deep breath. All right, so we're going to smell again. We're going to smell the flower. Taking a deep breath in, and then we're going to exhale, blowing out our candle. Again, take a deep breath in, smelling whatever that wonderful smell is that we like to smell. And then picture ourselves blowing out our candle as we let out our deep breaths. Okay, and with that exercise, that again helps you to be able to ground ourselves and to kind of center ourselves and come back to a place where we can focus on our surroundings and then go back into whatever activity that we were doing with more of a level head, and we can be a little bit more calm in re-engaging in that activity.
Wanted to see if we can open it up to some of the learners to hear from anyone that has any questions about the thermometer or has any concerns. If we wanted to open it up, is it anyone that wanted to respond to what's been presented so far?
Yes, and feel free to put any questions, any comments in the chat as well. We definitely want the conversation to be interactive. If you see anything or have any questions, the floor is yours.
I have just a little bit of a comment. I teach here in Houston, and we had one of our little kindergartners who had a hard time explaining her feelings, and we gave her one of the little cards like you get from the doctor. It was like, honestly, how are you feeling card, but we adapted it to her behavior, and she was able to tell her teacher whether or not she was having an okay day or she was having a rough time just based on the happy faces. So it was really nice to use even on a very lower scale for a 5-year-old, because she had a difficult time like explaining her feelings. So
Good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, let me offer a comment, if I may. This is Goddard Jansen, and I work with NASA. And this feeling of getting frustrated is...
Hold on just a second, Jonee, if you can take the screen down, the share screen.
That's all right. You can leave it up.
Thank you.
But anyway, at NASA, we are very concerned about staying calm in a very stressful situation. And in my particular case, if I get nervous or I get frustrated with a meeting I'm in, I'll just take a walk. And just taking a walk and smelling the air or watching the birds fly helps me calm down a lot. So that's my solution. This particular time with all this coronavirus has kept us inside, and so I've got a treadmill at home and I'll walk a lot on that. We also have a lot of concern about staying calm in stressful situations for our astronauts who have to prepare. Well, we have a launch coming up here next week, and those 2 astronauts who are going to launch from Florida have not had an opportunity to be with their family because of all this quarantine stuff. So they're going to be in Florida for 2 weeks without their families around them. They can talk to them and see them on Zoom meetings, but they're not going to be associated with them before that liftoff, a very stressful situation. So we've done everything we can to help them stay focused and get ready for this launch.
Hi, my name is Katlehong Ngwane. I'm actually from South Africa, and
Welcome.
thank you. I actually wrote a poem about mental health. It's titled "A Battlefield in My Mind," and so I would like to read it to you. So it says, "A battlefield in my mind. Do I need a shrink, or should I leave paper with ink? For my heart sinks in a river of disappointment, insanity, anger, and fear now get the best of me. The oceans know my tears, the city feels my fears. I now stumble upon a piece of paper, black as it can be. I have now contaminated it with my deepest, darkest thoughts in my head. But how do I rely on such a defenseless piece of paper? My thoughts are now exposed, thoughts that I composed, that I should have exposed. I am now misinterpreted, misunderstood. I now find myself in the midst of a shrink. I now sip on my drink, for the last word that I've uttered has left me dry. I am now misunderstood, misinterpreted, and judged. I'm all out of options. The shrink and the ink aren't effective enough. The universe has left me alone. Tried to fill a void in me that left me shallow. Shadows wander in my room, for I can't take these hallucinations no more. Enslaved by my own mind, held hostage by my headspace. No affection No affection caused this depression, this anxiety that took the majority in me, this paranoia that labeled me unloyal. I don't have to change a single thing. The world just has to change its heart and renew its mindset. For this battlefield in my mind will cause a warfare in the world. So that's the poem I wrote. As I said, the first line I said, "Do I need a shrink?" So for those who do not know, a shrink is actually a psychiatrist. And so in this, I'm asking a question that do I need a shrink or should I leave paper with ink, which is writing down what I'm feeling. So at times like this, I tend to write down the stuff that I'm feeling to just take out the anger and the sadness out of me. And as the poem continues, I also said that I stumbled upon a piece of paper of which I wrote my thoughts and what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And as it went by, I also said, I asked myself, but how could I rely on such a defenseless piece of paper? For at this point, was somebody found the paper and now saw the things that I wrote and the stuff that I was feeling. And as I said, that I my thoughts are now exposed, and I am now being misinterpreted and misunderstood. So in this way, when I realized that a lot of people who are going through a mental illness, they're being misunderstood, um, and there's like a lot of stigmas and molds around mental illness. That at the end of the poem, I also said that the world needs to change its heart and change its mindset around mental illness and start to be more considerate and more open when it comes to mental health. Like you said, like I can't remember who the speaker said, but she said something like mental health should be morely people should get used to it, as if like you're saying I'm going to the dentist to get my teeth done. So with mental health, it should be as common as like that people feel free to talk about it. So that's pretty much it.
That was
You.
amazing.
And I think you summarized everything that was talked about, and you put it
Well
together.
done. Well done.
Yes, well done. So you are at the top of the list in terms of presenter, and actually speaking how it came from you and how it came to your heart to be able to project that. So thank you,
Love
thank you,
Can you share your name and where you're calling in from one more time? That poem was amazing. Share your name one more time.
My name is Kadlong Ngwane and I'm from South Africa.
If you can put it in the chat for us, put it in the chat so we can have you on record, and we'd love to be able to share that poem. I would love to share it on this side with students that I work with. If you're open to that, I'd love to share that. Amazing.